All right, good day, distinguished viewers. Today we are going to talk about a very powerful online tool called Google Form. Uh, Google Form is a free online tool that allows user to create surveys, quizzes, feedback forms, registrations, and data collection with ease. It is part of the Google Workspace suite and works on any device with an internet connection. Google Form helps users to collect information digitally, analyze response automatically, share surveys instantly, and store all responses safely in the Google Drive for future access. Google Form is widely used in education, business, events, research, and public data collection. And of course, Google Form is not the only survey tool that we have. There are other, options like Microsoft Form, SurveyMonkey, Typeform, JotForm, ZohoForm. But today we are talking about Google Form because it's a good option. I mean, to me and to many others who have attested to that. And this is because, Google Form is completely free. It's very easy to use. You have real-time response collection. It is strong Google integration. Then it supports collaboration. You have unlimited forms and responses. Unlike some other tools that limit, free users. It is multi-purpose. I mean, you can use Google Form to create surveys, to search CBT exams and quizzes, make registrations, voting, feedback, for training and evaluation, and for gathering data collection, when you are making research. So, one more thing that is important about Google Form is it is automatic charts and summary. You're going to see all of this in the course of the video. So, let's move to the business proper. How to create a Google Form. I mean, giving you a step-by-step guide to do that. So there are two ways actually to create a Google form. The first option is by navigating through the Google website using the URL forms.google.com. And the second option is to access the Google form through the Google Drive. But today we are going to be exploring the first option, which is through the website. So there are two ways to do that. You can simply type the URL that I've said earlier by typing forms.google.com, forms.google.com, and you hit enter. So from the options, I mean, the feedback you get from the search operation you just made, you scroll down a little bit and pick Google Form sign in. So when you get there, you are going to be presented with some, templates, as you can see on the screen. So these templates are to enable you have a starting point. So you don't need to scratch your brain to pick, to think about idea. If you want to create a blank form, you do that here. If you want to create a blank quiz, you can pick this template and continue to build upon it. And exit ticket, this is a template for that. For assessment, if you want to test, set a test for your students in class or one of the other things you want to do, you can actually do it under the assessment here. This is a worksheet and this is for course evaluation. So what we are going to do today is to pick, we can choose a template to just start from there. Okay, I think we should just choose a template to do that. So let's start with this. Okay, no, let's pick a blank form. Let's pick a blank form. So you click on it, it's going to load. So, and as you can see here, it is untitled. So you need to start by giving your form a title. So let me say CBT, or let me say, okay, ICT test, ICT test 2. So this is the title of my own test. It's even asking if I want to learn, about the new Google form. Maybe there's an update recently, but I don't want to do that now. So what else am I going to do? This interface you have here, this placeholder is if you want to describe the function of the form to the users who are going to be interfacing with it, you can describe it here. So I can basically say this form, okay, I won't say form this time around because I want to make it a test. So this quiz aims to assess your understanding on the module covered so far. On the modules covered so far in our class. Okay, so I've given a description to that. So what else? I can now start, you know, putting in the questions accordingly. So this is the question one. I can basically say, what is a computer? So automatically, Google form gives you, what we call the response type, and this is what you're having by the right hand side of the question tab. So when you click on the drop down arrow, you're going to have a lot of drop down options, that you have there, ranging from short answer to paragraph to multiple choice to checkbox quiz. So each of these have functions they perform. You can even upload a file. If you want them to upload a file, maybe you ask them to make some document preparation or to write out one or two things. You can ask them to upload a file here. So, but for this question, since it's a CBT based exam, I might want to give them option to pick from. So what is a computer? So then let me start with a multiple choice. So should be a question mark here. So what's the first option? A computer is a small child. That will be my first option. Then see what we have here. Add option. That's option 2. I can say a computer is an electronic device, electronic machine that accepts data, and I continue on and on like that. I can decide to put another option there. I can say none of the above, none of the above. So these are options that I can put there, and it also gives me the opportunity or the privilege of automatically putting order. Order means giving the user the opportunity to put in their own, option or thought that is not included in the options you have included as part of the answer to the question you asked earlier. So what have I done? I've created a test item and I've included options, possible options that the person I'm trying to test or the person that's attempting this test is going to pick from. So I can include order if I so like. So order to give them, like I said earlier, opportunity to type out their answer. So, but I don't want that. This is a CBT or an alternative-based question. So I'm going to close this off. So you can see what we have under this particular tab. We have duplicate question here. We have delete question here. We have required. This required means that the question will be made compulsory. Students or anybody accessing that form will not be able to submit without answering any question that have been marked required. So if I mark it required, it means that they won't be able to submit without having to pass through that question. So these are, as you can see, you have more options here. This option is talking about if you want to describe the question, you can describe here. If you want to go to section based on answer, if you want to shovel the option order. So that this is equally very important if you are using this as a test, a quiz. So that even when your students are sitting together, the options they have in their questions is going to be scattered, and but Google at the back end, Google Form at the back end will help you to do the analysis as easy as it could. So what is next? I don't want to stress myself typing a lot of things again, so I can just continue to duplicate questions. I could create, so you can see now that we've gotten another question. All I need to do is to change the question I have here. I can say, which of these, which of these is an input device? Okay, so I can now have options here. So just to, immediately I click on it, then it will be automatically highlighted. And I can put here mouse, I can put here monitor, I can put here printer. These are options that they are going to pick from. So I may decide that I don't want to, I want them to, okay, we are going to have an example of a question that is going to take another answer format very soon. So see what we have done here again. We have made it required. Then I want to duplicate the question again. So it has been duplicated again. Here, let me ask for their name. What is your name? What is your name? Okay. So you are going to see what Google will do automatically now. So what do we have here? What is your name? So I'm going to change from the multiple choice to a short answer, so they can be able to type their names here. So you continue on and on like that to complete all the questions that you want to complete. I'm going to show you samples of quizzes, assessment, form, or test that are graded, that have been done using Google Form. So next, you can explore all that we have on the tabs here. It's still saying untitled form here, so automatically you need to, okay, it has changed the title to ICT Test 2. Yeah, so what next? Let us see how the responses will look like. We want to customize how the responses will be. So it's telling us that there's no response yet. There's no response yet here because we have not sent this form to anybody to fill. So you can't expect any response at this level. So what next? Let us explore what we have, the tabs we have here, starting from this customized thing. So this gives us the opportunity to make our form, or our form, to design it and change the interface a little bit. Here, let's start from this choose header. So it's going to present me with options to pick from, the image that is going to appear at the top of my form when it gets to, the final users. So these are themes based on categories. These are under work and school. So I can pick from anyone I like here. But since it's a test and it's based in the school, so I might want to pick from work and school. So let's look for one that is very okay to pick from. Okay, this is showing books. Okay, fine. This is about these books writing material. So to pick this, so that the students are going to feel happy that after they pass their test, they can take a sip of the coffee. So I insert it. So when I insert it, it automatically appear at the top of my form. That is the header of the form. You observe that immediately the header is uploaded, the color of the form changes. That is because it is responsive. Automatically, it detects the color that matches the the header image, and it adapts it immediately. So that's the first thing you can do under Teams. So preview, we want to see how the form will look like when it gets to the final destination. So let us check it out. So this is how our form will look like. So you can see that. Okay, so let us go back again and continue from where we stopped. So now let us talk about other settings now. We've checked out, the themes. We've checked out the preview. We've seen it. This is for you to undo any last action you did. This is to redo it. This is when you want to generate a link that you can send to people that they will click to access the form. This is where you do that. And this is where you want to collaborate with people to share them access to the form so that they can equally be able to edit and do a lot of things. So this is the email that I've logged in with. It's saying that I'm the only one that have access for now since I've not added anybody. I may want to add someone. If I want to do that, all I need to do is to enter the email address of the persons here inside this placeholder. When I add them, let's take for instance, I want to add Ali Sayed. Okay, immediately I do that. So it's telling me that this person is a responder. Is it that only want the person to be able to respond? I want to give other right to that person. I can give editor. So the editor will be able to change or manipulate whatever changes you've put in the form. But if it's a responder, the person will be able to respond to the question in the form. You're able to change anything aside from filling the form. You're able to change the text item or the questions of the survey or whatever items that is on the form in the first instance. So I'm going to pick an editor so that this person can edit. So what is again? If I do not want to do that, I can put a message here so that the person will know that I've invited him or her to be able to edit. Now, look at what we have. The editor to be able to view and delete form responses. Yes. So because they have equal access that I have, so I will now send the message to them. So the message I send to them, they will now I can before I do that, I can actually add an expiration date because if I do not want them to be able to continue to use the form after a certain period, I can decide to give expiration to that access. Maybe by I want to give them just 1 week access, even a day access is possible, and it continues on and on like that. So I then click on send. So that person will receive, you know, that information. There's a restriction here, as you can see on the screen, because this mail login that I use for this account is an institutional mail, and this Ali Said is not on that network. So that person may not be able to receive it, easily like that. So to do that, I might want to include other persons that are in that. This is lasso.edu.ng. This person will surely receive, and this is lasso fair research fair. This person will surely be able to receive it. So that's another question, and I mean another issue entirely that we discuss in our forthcoming video, talking about access in a particular network or domain. So what are we going to do next? Let us customize our form further by using the settings. It's asking, these are settings that I have. I want to make this a quiz. Yes, I want to make it a quiz. Immediately I type that, it's going to give me other, options to be able to do that. It's asking if I want to release the grades of students immediately after each submission. Yes, I can say yes. And I can also pick a later time after I must have manually reviewed the form and the answers they give one after the other. But I want to do what I want to choose it immediately. So it's asking here if I want to make sure that the users are not going to be able to open tabs or other application while taking quiz. I can pick it here. That is if I'm using Chromebook setting. That is part of the limitations they are having in this case. You know, uh, so that is that. So that is part of what makes the form to be truly a CBT. You can imagine if your users cannot be able to change or shift to other tab, but that is restricted to the Chromebook settings. So it's going to show them missed questions, show them correct questions, shows them the value of the question. So here you set the points of each question. For instance, if you are setting questions will be over 20 and you have just 10 questions, it means each question will have 2 points. So when they have each 2 points, it means that when they get a question correctly, then they will have 2 points. So what will happen eventually is that the total score will be automatically summed up, and the person who attempts the test will have the total score eventually. So now let's move on to responses. So how do I want to collect responses? Do I want to collect email address? Yes, I want to collect verified email address because we call this a quiz. You can decide not to collect so that you won't bore yourself with people's email. It depends. So here you can send the responder the copy of their response. You can easily give them access, but that's because it won't work now because I'm not collecting email. So if I collect email, so automatically I can be able to give them access. So let me leave it to when requested. If user wants, then they can actually get their feedback eventually. So what else are we doing here? Okay, I think it's okay. Ah, okay, okay. I think we are good to go here now. So now let's go back to the question to now set correct answers. Let's go back there. So since we have made this a quiz, there's an option for us to put in the correct answers. So look at it here now. It's asking the answer key. So this is the correct answer here. So we make it. So this is our answer key. Yes. So it has understood now that the correct answer is this second option. And then I click on done. So at my own end, this arrow will not show on their own end. It will only show on my own end. So let's see how it's going to look like. For the second option, this is the correct answer here, mouse. Okay. The answer key, mouse, and I click done. So for the last, this one will not have, it will have a generic answer. So we won't give any option for that. So let's go and check our how it will look like now, preview. So you can see that the answer is not showing here, but it's telling them that if you pick the right answer, you are going to have so points. For now, the person is having 0 points because he or she has not, respond to the question. So what am I going to do next? I'm going to go ahead to publish the form. So when I publish the form, it means the form will be available online. Be available online. Okay, click on publish. So it's asking that do I only want to limit the people that can respond to it to only people in Lagos State University? No, I want anybody to be able. The responders can be anybody. So I won't, work on this. So then just publish out. So immediately you publish, what do you have? You're going to have a link. The link was showed earlier, so it's asking me to copy the responder link. This is a link that people is going to be able to click to get to this form. And look at what we have here, accepting responses. Whether you want to accept response or not, so you can do that from here. So it means that this form is active. If I click on this accepting responses, then nobody, even if they click that form 10 times, this is what you'll be seeing there. This form is no longer accepting responses. And if you want to customize it, you can also edit it. You can say the test is over. The test is over. Okay. I click on save. But I do not want to do that. I want to publish and I want people to be able to still access the form. So it won't show that. So I want to copy responder link. This is a link. I can make it shorter. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to customize the back end of your link so it can show something that people can reason along with. So for now, we copy the form, the link I mean. So after copy the link, it has to copy to the clipboard. What next? Let's go and test our link. So I save it here. Okay, so I'm going to paste the link here and I click enter. So it's loading. Okay, it's saying the form is not accepting responses. Okay, let's manage it because this form is collecting okay, great. Can you see what I see now? The test is over. I'm only able to see this here because I am the one who designed this form. And as you can see, only form editors can see this link. So let me first of all, make the form to accept inputs before I move on to the next. Okay, so that link that I copied just now, let me take it to, or let me change the email I used to another email. So I want to access the form as another person entirely. So okay, so it's telling me now, okay, this is the form now that I want to use. This is the form. So let's test it out. It's asking if you should record my email. I'll pick that. So what is a computer? I want to pick this answer. A computer is a small child. So it won't tell me if I'm right or wrong. Here, which of these is an input device? Like I want to pick a mouse. What is your name? My name is the possibilities. The possibilities. Okay. Send me a copy of my response. I don't want. Submit. Yes, I want to submit. So I've submitted my form, my test actually. So let me see what I'm going to have. So he said your response has been recorded. View score. Let me see what I scored. Oh God. The first question, I missed it. Second question, I got it correctly. So why is it recording my total score as 0? It's because I did not set the value for this second question. So what am I going to do here? I'm simply going to go back to the form and try to see if I can edit the form. So I'm back here now. So let's check this second question again. So see, okay, we are here now. Answer key. So look how we have here. It is on 0. So I have to put it in 2 and click OK. So you have to be sure and careful about how you designate whatever you have. Now the responses has changed to 1 because the response has been given. So that is how to create a Google form and use it as a quiz. You can do seamless other things with it, just like we said earlier. What you need to do is to understand, the different types of the, feedback input type that you can give, like the multi-choice. You can have the short answer, paragraphs if you want persons to write a long story, check boxes. If you type options and you want them to pick more than one, they use check boxes. Drop down if you have alternatives that you want them to pick from. There are different types. So these are example of drop down now. So now see what we have here. Instead of A, B, C, it's going to bring it down as drop down menu. So whichever one I pick is what is going to be the answer eventually. So this is how to create a Google form, and convert it to a quiz that can be used for a CBT based assessment. All right. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.